Hello guys, welcome back again to Netcode-Hub channel. This lesson is going to be a mini project. We want to talk about creating a simple e-commerce in mobile application. So with this, we're going to have two separate projects. That is a web API where we're going to store our product. So we're going to have our Android or desktop app. So the reason why we are not using SQLite inside the application is, this e-commerce and it must be in the database. When we put the SQLite in the same application, management is going to be difficult. So that's why you have to set the database aside, and the Android or desktop of the e-commerce app is going to depend on that database for data. And that's what we're going to do today. So let's start. First of all, we have to create our Solution Explorer. That's going to be the blank solution. Aside from that, we have to create our two projects. The first one is going to be our web API, whereby we're going to store our product. Second is going to be our app, whereby it's going to depend on the web API for data and display them. So let's start. So let's first start to create our empty solution. So now we have our project created. Second part here is we're going to create our web API. So here we choose a network framework of 7.0, and now we enable this. Okay, so we have our app created, and there's an API. So you can see from here that we have everything intact over here. Now the third part here is we have to install packages. That's a NuGet package talking about the EF core, all the packages that we're going to use for database creation. So these are the packages that we need to install: EF core tools, and EF core SQL server. So right click on dependencies. Then maybe you can go to manage NuGet packages. So we go to the browse tab, and now here you're going to search for EF core. So we have to install this first. Also, we have to install .tools. So let's search for tools. We're going to use .NET EF core for migration. So let's install the design too. And now let's install the database management system, and that is the EF core.SQL server. maybe here we're going to use HTTP context. So let's have our context, that's the HTTP client package, and that's going to be extensions.http. Okay, so I think it is done. Now when we go to output, you're going to see success, and this, because it has changed to uninstall. So you can now close this. To view all the packages installed, you can go to Solution Explorer, Dependencies, and now click on Packages, and you have to get all the packages installed from the first to the last. Now let's build the package, or let's build the project. So project build 1 succeeded, 0 failed. Now let's run this project and see. So our API is working. As you can see from here, we have Swagger, and that is the default one weather forecast. So nothing selected or nothing done here, so we have it to work. Let's close it, and let's go to our application again. So we are going to start with our API first. So this is what we're going to do. Let's first have our connection in the app settings.json file, and in here, let's specify our DB connection. So server is equal to, then this is local, and that's going to be local host. So database is going to be Ecommerce. So that's a database name. And let's have trusted connection. Let's set this to true. And now trust server certificate. Let's set this to true as well. So this is our connection that we need. Now let's save this. Let's go to our Solution Explorer, and we have to create our application here. So that's a database context class. Right click on this, and now let's add a new folder, and this is going to be data. So in this, we're going to create a class, and that class is going to be AppDB contest. Now this is going to inherit from DB contest class. So this is part of the Entity Framework core control period. We can now introduce the namespace. Let's create constructor and pass in this option, which are referring to the base. That is the DB contest. Now let's copy this, and now with this option, we specify the options or the name of this contest here. So we have our contest created. Let's go to our program.cs file, and now in here we have to register our DB contest. So before the app build, we say builder.services.add DB contest. So you're going to specify the app DB contest class. And now with this, we need to pass in some option parameters. So options mark 2. Then we can have options here. Dot use SQL server, and it is part of the EF core. And now with this SQL server, we need to specify the connection string in this app settings. That's a DB connection. So let's copy this. And now here, we're going to use builder.configuration dot get connection string. And now with this connection string, we're going to pass in the name of this connection string from the app settings, and that's going to be DB connection. Now let's specify, in case this is null, then let's throw new exception. So invalid operation exception. And now we want to say something like so database connection string, and that's the DB connection, is not found. That is when this connection is not found. So after doing this, let's create our model. So let's create a folder to the project, and now we're going to say our models. So let's try this. Instead of creating the models here, you want to now add a library so that this library can be shared between the server and also the other applications which may depend on the server for data. So let's solution. Let's add a new library, so a new project. Now we go for library, so class library. So we have our library selected, and I want to go for C# class library. So you can go for the first one. This is a class library for F#, and the first one is for C#. So we go for this, and I will say demo ecommerce dot, let's say library. The same framework of 7.0. Now in here, let's delete the default one. And now let's add this library to this API, the API project server. Right on dependencies, and I go to add project reference, and I'll choose the library and attach. Let's create a folder here, and this folder is going to be models. Let's add the first model, and that's going to be for product. So class. So for product. Now these are the properties that I want to have for a product. You want to have product name. So first of all, you want to have product ID. And aside from this, you want to have product name. Maybe product description. And aside from this, you can have product category. And also maybe you can have from product category, you're going to have category ID. Also, you can have product price. So let's make here as double. And let's set this to price. And maybe you can have quantity. So let's assume this. Okay, you can add more, but let's maintain this. So meaning here we have to create a category. So with this, let's copy this and let's create a category. So to the same models, then we're going to add a class and we say category. And we're going to have category ID, so this is going to be public as well. So we're going to have category ID, category name, and maybe you can have category image. So with this image, we are going to store base64 image. You're going to convert the image to base64 string, and I'll store them here. Let's save this. So we can clear all these namespaces. We can do the same thing to this. Now you see that this is solved. So let's save that. Let's go to AppDB context and specify a database table and their names. So we go to data, AppDB context. Now here, so this is DB set. And now this is the first one is product. Now the name that you're giving to a database table or database table name is product. So this table name is going to use the properties specified in this product class for columns. Let's use same to the category. And I will say here is categories. We save that. Now we are done with this, we can now go ahead and perform a database migration. Remember that we installed 2 packages, the EF core tools and also design. So we can use either AppDB context or add migration, or we can use .NET EF. To test for .NET EF, let's see. We have to now build this project. So let's build it once again. So all set. So let's perform migration. So let's go to tools. Then we can go for this NuGet package manager and our package manager console. So to check whether we have this selected, our EF core installed. First of all, you see that API is made what? Project startup. If you're not seeing that, go to Solution Explorer and I'll right click on this and I'll set to startup project. So here, let's clear screen. When you pass in .NET EF, let's see if it is installed. So let's see .NET. Okay. Then let's go to, let's clear this ls. So let's go to this API. So let's grab this and now let's change directly. So cd, let's paste this. Now ls, we are inside this directory. The next thing to do here is let's say .NET EF migrations. So migrations add. So this is the first one, initial. Let's set output to a folder called data. Open it, create another folder as migrations, and do your own things there. So let's see. Now it is saying something. We are missing .NET command. So maybe .NET is not yet installed. So let's try to install this .NET EF. But we can also use the other one. So let's specify the other one as well instead of installing this. So let's clear this. And now let's go to add migration. And the name is initials. So the output here, a data folder, open it and do your own stuff in a new folder called migrations. Now let's see. So this is going to be the project, and you can see it succeeded. So it's going to generate a file for us, and that's the file that has been generated. We have a category data table, product data table, and these are the columns specified. So this is what we're going to do. So let's update database. Let's specify the name that we use when creating, and that is the initials. So this is going to run an EF call command to create a database in our table. So let's see. We have an issue here. Keyword trusted connection is not known. So the spellings of trusted is wrong. Let's see. So that's going to be trusted. Let's save this. And let's do this again. Okay, so let's see, trust server certificate also wrong. So certificate. All right, save that. Let's do this again. Okay, so we see it is now done. Let's go to view, and we can add SQL Server Object Explorer. We want to have access to our database. So we're going to have a database name as demo e-commerce. We're going to have data tables as product and categories. So let's open this. And now let's check database. We can refresh this. Let's do it again. Database. We are not seeing it. So let's add a different connection. So click on this plus symbol. And now we're going for local. This is a database. So I'm going to choose the first one. And no password here. So connect. Connected. Now let's click on this drop down. Databases. Now you can see we have this demo e-commerce. Click on this. Open tables. And we're going to have these categories and products. So we have the two tables. Right click on this. And now click on view data. Click on this two. And now go for view data. So we have this over here. Let's first specify our categories table first. So maybe you can have electronics. Okay, so ID. Let's see. So they're saying that to cancel the change. Okay. Now let's have the first one. So electronic. Okay. So with this image, you're going to put the encrypted image or base64 image there later on. Now let's have maybe kitchen. We can have kitchenware. And there's going to be image. You can have our, maybe you can have box. Image. We can have sandals or shoes. Image. So you're gonna have menswear. So this is also image. So let's make a change to this. And let's have women's wear. Okay, maybe we can have access to something like toys. Okay, so we have this. These are the ID and these are the categories that we have now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe you can go down and add maybe computers. Okay, so let's maintain this. Now we save that. Now let's go to the product. So we are going to add sample products over here. So I'll just have to go offline and I'll do some stuff here. And now even we made a mistake here. Here we should have added product image because we want to display an image for a product. So let's go to, I want us to just highlight all this. Let's copy this. Okay. Let's go to product. And now let's add product image. So here we can do something like this is string. And now here it is image. Let's save this. Let's perform another migration. So in here, so add dash migration. So let's give it a name as update product table or product column. So let's update database. Now the name of it is update product column. Okay, so when you close this and now refresh this, let's refresh our table and now let's open our product again. You see we have the image over here. Alright, so there's also a mistake somewhere else, and that is where we have the product. You know, we have created a relationship here. We specify that is a category. So each product is going to have a category. But we did not specify the product list in this category. So let's do that here. So here we're going to have list of products. And now we're going to say products. So we have list of products and that's going to be the relationship. So here is going to be one to many. Let's do same to the database. So let's perform migration as well again. So add migration. And I will say update category. So update database, and the name is update category. Okay, so now when you close this, and now let's refresh the table, and now open this category, open this product. Okay, so nothing changed, but here we can add, let's try to add the first product and see. So name, I'm going to say standing fun, description, so very nice and affordable one. So category, let's make it as 2 here, price, quantity, image, let's specify an image. So let's say, so you can see that here we have problem here and it is conflicting with the foreign key constraint. So when you check this category, this category table, you see we have electronics as 6. So we have to provide here as 6 because we are referring to the electronics. Now, so I'm going to go offline and I'll do a whole lot over here. So to do the same, and now let's come back when we are done. Okay, so I went offline and I have added one data. So you can see from here we have 2 rows as data, or 2 records over here in a database table. Okay, so now we have this. The next thing to do here is let's go in there and create our directories, and that's going to be the interfaces for this work. So we're going to do that inside our project here, the API. So here we're going to create a service for this. And now before we do that, let's create, because we have a controllers folder, but let's create a service here. You right click, let's add a new folder. And now this is going to be service. Now let's add product service. So add a new interface, new item. And now that's going to be interface. And I will say this is interface product service. And you know you must create an implementation class as well, because interface has to get its implementation class. So let's add a class, and that's going to be product service. And you know this class must inherit from this interface. So that's has been suggested here. We can now create constructor here. So CTOR, then tab, we're going to have a constructor created. Let's go to our interface here. And now we are going to specify our methods. So the first one is going to be task. Then, but before that, let's go to this and we can have our response here. So let's create another folder in this. So add another folder, and now this is going to be response. So responses. Now this responses, let's create a class here, and now this is going to be a service response. Now this service response, you're going to make here as public. And we're going to set this. Let's set this to, so string, we have our message over here. And maybe we want to have our flag. So let's say we have another one. And now here is going to be bool. And now in this, we can say success. So this is string, and there's a message. Okay, let's go to, so let's load this. And now let's go to our interface here. And I'm going to say that this is service response. And that is add product. And now this add product, you're going to use this product variable, and that's a model, and you're going to have 8 objects. Aside from this, you're going to have task. We can talk about update product. We can also talk about delete product. And even here, we like to use just product ID. So you don't want to have send in the whole product that you want to delete. Let's pass in product ID. So here is going to be int ID, and that for product. Aside from this, we want to have get product by ID, and I pass in this ID. Then the last one, we want to have get list of product. So this is task. Now this is list of product. And I'm going to say get products. So let's add async to it. So let's add async to this too. And now add async. So let's add this. So with this, you're going to have a single product returned. You're going to have a list of product returned. You're going to have service response from these 3 methods. So let's go to our product service here, the implementation class, control period. Let's implement all the interface. Now you could see we have our AppDB context, so let's inject this here. So control period, let's create an assigned field. So in here, add product is what you're going to do. We're going to talk about, we're going to check so if product is null. So if product is null, then that's what you're going to do. So if product is null, let's clear all this. Then we want to return. So let's return new tax response. So you want to return this new, and now this new is going to be this service response. Okay, so return this new service response, and now this service response, you want to have message as equal to something like bad request. Then you want to have success false. But you know here must be an async. That is when this is null. If it is not, maybe you can check the database and see if the data is there already. So we can say check. You can have this and AppDB context dot product table. So dot first or default async. Then so here not that, let's use where. So dot where, and you can now use p max2 p dot name. So dot to lower dot equals to the product coming in dot name dot to lower, because you can't add the same product twice with a name. So dot first or default, then let's use dot first or default, and that must come here. So where p max2 p dot name dot lower dot equals to this. So dot first or default async. And now you can check. So if check is null, that is where you want to perform this. Else you want to return the same thing here. And this time around, you can put something here like product already added. So success is going to be false. If product is null, then we want to add a product. So we're going to say await AppDB context the product dot add async. So here you're not going to do this add async. You're just going to add this. So dot add. After that, let's await. So and AppDB context dot save async. And here let's take off this await. So add this, and after that, save this. So this is what you have to do. Let's put this here. So we can just cut this and put this in between. Okay. Then we can now make a copy of this and now add it here. And we can close this. So return product added. And now success is going to be true. Okay, that's to add. Now let's do the same thing to delete. So with delete, we want to find product by ID. So let's specify this here. Let's grab the same data, and that's going to be var product. So it's equal to await app.db contest dot product dot first or default, and I'm going to say product max to p dot id is equal to this ID. So if product is null, so I want to use this. If product is null, then you want to return product not found. So return this product not found. So product not found. Set access to false. But in case product is found, then I want to say await app.db contest dot product dot remove, and now here we're going to pass in this product. And after that, let's clear this and await app.db contest dot save async. So let's save that, and now let's return a message product deleted. So success is going to be true over here, and now we can just cut this and now say product deleted. Okay, so that is delete product. Now we talk about get product by ID. Then here we want to return, let's use this lambda expression. So return await app.db contest dot product dot first or default, whereby p max to p dot id equal to this ID. So this is what you want to return. So you want to return this to the user. Okay. But in order to skip this, you see here we have an await, and now here we have possible now reference. So we can do this. What can we do here to skip that? Either we put it this side, or let's see, if you go for show use block, then it's going to maintain this, and that means that here we have to get a var variable. So var product is equal to this, then we can now return product. And now we can now check this. Okay, let's also get product list, and now this too, we can use this lambda expression. So we can talk about await and app.db contest dot product dot toList async. The next thing is update. So update, we're going to specify the product ID. So first we are going to check, so var product is equal to await, then we're going to say app.db contest dot product dot first or default p max to product dot id equal to this product dot id. Okay, so this product coming in here dot id, so we can use this product and we're going to specify its id, product dot id. So first or default async. Now let's see why you having this. So we can use this, so let's use results. So here we're going to check if results is null, then just return something like product not found. Else, this is what you want to do. We say app.db contest dot product dot remove, then okay, so there's an update. So here you want to update. Let's see what we can do. So await appdb context dot, do you have an update? So here update, you want to pass in this object. So update. So let's first clear this. And now let's see appdb context dot update. Now you pass in this product coming in. And maybe await appdb context dot save async. And we want to return something like this, product updated. And success is true. So this is our repository that we have created. So that's an add, delete, get product by ID, get product list, and an update product list. Now let's save this. You can now close our interface and the implementation. So let's save all. And I can now close its implementation as well. Okay, so for this, let's see. Now you have few data in our product. Let's go in there and I'll create a controller for this. So I'll click on this. Now let's add a new controller. Now this controller, go for API, empty one. And now this is for product. So you're going to say product controller. So in here, we're going to specify our CAD operations. So the first one, we need to create a constructor for this. So we can inject product constructor. And now in here, let's inject the service. So product service. And now we can use this product service control period. Let's create an assigned field. So in here, it is an HTTP get. And now here, we're going to get our product. So we're going to say public async task. And now here it is action results. And now this action results, you want to grab a list of products. So control period, let's include this model. And now here we say get product. And now this get product, you can also add the async, get product async. And now with this get product async, you can just match to this, await product service.get product async. So that is it for that. And now instead of this having this, we can now return okay. So if the response here, you want to return okay, because you know that we are going to return, so we can check first. So instead of this, let's cut this and let's use this expression here, the body expression. So first of all, let's have product is equal to, then you can have an await, then product service dot get product async. Now when we check, because you know that we can still return, so here we can still return everything, because you know this, when we check our repository, get product async returns everything. So it could be null or it could be, and even if it is null, it's still going to return. So let's return okay. So let's go in there and now let's clear all this from here. And now let's point it, simple one. So return okay. And now you can now pass in this. Very simple one. The next thing that we want to do here is let's specify HTTP get. By this time around, we are going to get product by ID. And now this ID is going to be integer. So let's see, we have public task. So public async task. And I know this must be a product. And now this product, we are going to say that before this product, you must have an action result. Then this product will come. And now this is get product async. And now with this get product async, here is going to be an ID. And now we can check here that var product is equal to an await product service dot get product by ID async. And now here specify the ID. And after doing this, we can check. So if product is null, then we want to return not found. Then we pass in this product. So because when you check over here, we can pass not found. And now with this, we're going to have not found it, because when you check this product service, get product by ID, we are returning just only product. So in case the product is not found, maybe you can decide to pass in this method. So product not found. You can pass in this. Else, then we can also pass in return okay, and you pass in this product. Now the next thing that we are doing is the delete. So http delete. And now with this delete, we need to specify an ID, which is integer. And now we say that public async task. And now this comes with a service response. So before this service response, we have to include action results. So action results first. Then at the end, let's close it up. And now let's say delete product async. And now you pass in ID. And in here, we are still going to check. So product is equal to await. This time I'm not going to be app, so going to be product service dot get product by ID. Then you're going to pass in this ID. So here we can say if product is equal to now, then you want to return. So return not found. And now you can pass in this product over here, because this product is going to contain the results of this action results. You're going to have this product, but in case it is found, then return okay, then you pass in this product. Now the next one is, all right, so even so that's the product. Now you can see that here is going to be a response. So this is what you're going to do. Let's make here as response. So here we can say is response dot success. Okay, so response dot success. Because first of all, we are grabbing this. Let's maintain this as product. So is product equal to now, then return this. Else, then that's what you want to do. Else, we want to delete this. Okay, so we're going to call var response is equal to await, then product service dot delete async, then you pass in product dot ID, and now you want to return okay with this response. So that is it. Now here we first get the data from database and check if the data coming in, it is there. If it is there, then delete it. If it is not, return not found, because here when we check this, so you have to pass in return not found, and let's say products not found. Okay, now the last one is we have the get to get, we have delete, we have update. So let's go for this update and HTTP. And now instead of this update is going to be put. So this put, we are going to specify, so public async task, and that's going to be action result, and it's going to come from service response, and that is update product async. And I'm going to have the product itself and its objects. So first of all, we want to check the data. Okay, so I want to check the data. So even here, by checking this data, we can now even check from this, called this get product async. Product async. So let's change this name to this get product by ID async. Okay, and now with this update product async, you want to first check, so you can let's grab this. Let's grab everything from here, and now we can now paste this. And now in case it is found, this is what you're going to do. Let's have results, copy this, and now let's paste this here. So in case it is found and you want to update, so let's copy this. Then in here, so instead of the delete async, it's going to be update product async. I'm going to pass in this object, then return okay with the response, because we're going to come in with a service response from there, so we're going to return it okay. So get product, and I have to pass in here this product by, I can have ID of this product. Okay, so let's try this and see if our controller is working. But before that, we have to register our interface. So let's go to program.cs file. Now in here, we're going to say builder.service, so .add scope, and now with this, we're going to pass in our iProduct service. Then we say this is product service. So we add this. Now let's run this again and see. So let's save this. Now let's build the Pro project again. Let's build this. So I expected this. Let's see. So let's correct that. Let's do it again. Okay, so let's build the entire solution. All right, now let's run this project. So you forgot one, there's no add. Now let's see. So we go back to our project here, and I can see we have this add, but when you go to our controller, there's no add. So let's add here, and that is HTTP post. And that is public async task action results. And now this is coming in with a service response. Now this is add product. async, and now it is coming with a product and its objects. So in here, we can first check. So if this product is null, then we can return something like bad request. So return bad request. You can do something like so bad request as well. But if it is not null, then you want to just add. So if it's not null, then you want to say that result, because you know this is going to return a service response. So result is equal to await product service dot add product async. You pass in this product. And now if this response or results dot success, if it is success, then I want to return okay. To return, want to return something like okay. So return okay with the result. So else we can just return maybe bad request and with the result, because you know this coming in with a service response. So this could be when the results, when the success is false, you want to return bad request. So let's save that. And now when we go back to the controller, you must have this added. So we have API, we have post. So now let's get our product. So try this out. Now you see we have two products here from the database. Although we did not specify the image, we have category ID and etc. And also when we check this, get product by ID, let's specify. So let's see this product, you have ID of 12. So if we decide to add ID of 12 to this, so we have this. Now let's grab this. Or even let's grab only this one. That's the ID of 12. Now let's go to the update and see. So that's the put. And now in here, we are specifying only the ID of 12. So let's start from here. ID of 12. Let's clear this. And let's clear this too. So the ID is 12 here, standing fan, and let's say this is updated. Let's find this and see what we're going to have now. So you can see the category field is required. So category ID, we have it at 6. So this means that we have to add a category as well. So let's go in there and make some slight change here to our API. So where we have this service, product service, with this update, instead of using this update, you can use something like this results coming in here. So this result dot, then let's say name, then we can assign this equal to the product name coming here. Also, we can assign the result dot description to it. We can assign result dot, let's say, result dot quantity to this product dot quantity. We can assign result dot price to the product dot price. That's the new price coming in. And we can assign image. So result dot image is equal to this product coming in dot image. So I think these are 5. Now when we check this product, we have 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. ID is not part. Category is not part. So we have quantity, image, price, and now we have to get category ID. So category ID, and we do that in the product service, and now we say results dot category ID equal to product dot category ID. We save that. Now let's do that again here, and now let's check in our data controller. So in here, the put, we are going to specify what we have again. So from this put, try this out. Let's clear everything from here, and now let's paste this. Oh, so let's get single one. So get product by ID, and the ID is 12. Execute. Let's grab all this. Let's go to the put. Now in here, let's paste this. So standing fan updated, description fan updated. So category is 6, price, let's say this is 103, quantity 40, image, let's add updated. Now let's click on execute. Now it's still saying category field is required. Do you have category ID? So let's take off this. Now that is 6. Let's try it again. So let's try to include the category. So where you have this update, maybe you can have to after this, we can do dot include. Then we can specify this. So C max to C dot category. Let's save this again, and now let's check if this will work. So try this out. Grab the space. Now execute. And you still have the same issue. So then let's go in there and I'll make this category to be null. So you go to this product list, and now here this category, we set this as null. Let's save this, and now let's do this again. So put, try this out. Let's paste this, execute, and we still have the same issue. Let's see. Okay, so when we are done, it means we have to update the database. So let's do the same. So let's go to let's stop this. And let's check this again. So update or add migration. So update category field. Let's say update product category field. Now let's update database. So we say update database as product category field. So we set that place to be null. So product CF not found. Let's say the name is product CF and it's product. Okay, so let's do it again. So there's no T. Okay, so this is done. Let's run this again. Okay, so let's do it again. So I'm gonna paste this. Then now you're saying this one is updated. So execute this. Now you can see we have product updated. So when we go for get product by ID, we have to get that. So try this out, and this is 12. Execute. You can see we have this updated, so it means it is working. Let's add one, and also let's find the delete. So we have put get, everything is working. Now let's see the add. So if you want to add new one, we can take off this ID and we can take off this category. What we need here, it is a category ID. So let's see, let's clear this, and now we can also clear this product. So category ID of 6, and now the name is string, and let's see. Oh, it means product string and price. Okay, so we have to clear this product. Yeah, so this category, we have to also clear this category from it. Or we need to specify the category ID of 6. And that's all. Let's execute this. So product added. Let's get our product. And you can see we have it as 14. Let's delete. So you go to the delete. And here, let's pass in the 14. Let's execute and product deleted. Now let's get our product, and it is no more. Alright, so our API is ready, and now the next step that we're going to do here is we're going to create our Maui app and try to get connected to this, and now display the content here inside our API. That's our Maui application. But first of all, to add this, you want to create an administration section, and that's going to come in from this window desktop or the desktop application. So you're going to create a desktop view, and that's what we're going to use to update the database, to add product, delete product, and specify or do all the CRUD operations. And now the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to use the app, that's the Android version or the iOS version, to view the product as the e-commerce on our font. So let's start by doing that. So now I'm going to add a new project. So I click on resources, that is Solution Explorer, and now go to add new project. Make sure you close this. Okay, so let's go. So this is demo ecommerce.client, and that's for phone or for desktop. So we have it created, and now when you go to Solution Explorer, you can see we have it right here. Now with this, we need to install some packages, and maybe the first one that we need to install is the MVVM, and we need to install extension.http, and also we need to install MVVM helper. So let's do that. So these are the packages that we need to install: community2k.mvvm, refractor.mvvm helpers, and microsoft.extension.http. So you can go to manage NuGet packages, and now from here you can just go to browse and I'll try to install these packages specified. And that is the first one here. We have this toolkit, we have the HTTP right here, and we have the helper to somewhere around that is it. Okay, so we can now build this project and see if it's also working. Yeah, so you can see that here succeeded, 1 succeeded, and 0 failed. So we are good to go. Let's close this. Let's go to our project now. In this client, let's create 2 folders. The first one I'm going to have, let's create a new folder for views. Now this is views. Now in the views, you want to create another folder. And now within the views, you're going to have, let's make it as desktop. So this is desktop view, and now let's have phone view. So let's say this is also phone view. Now in this desktop, that's going to be for our administration. We're going to perform what they call operations, and phone is what we're going to use to access what we have created or updated into the database. So let's first work on the desktop first. So before that, let's create another view to the project. That's the root project. And now here I'm going to say we have models already. So let's say this is view models. We're going to say view models. And now with this, we have a view model here. And we're going to have a service as well. So the service that we're going to be using, you want to create this service inside this project. Okay, we have a view models here. We're going to have a service here. So let's do that and see if we can use service from this end into our application here. If not, then we're going to create a service in between or inside this app here. So for us to get everything in a complete one, let's do everything here. So let's create our model here. This library is for our API, and now let's create this for our phone. Okay, so we have our models. Let's add another one for, that's a view model. So let's add one for our models. So we have models, we have view models, and let's create one for service. So let's add this at services. So we have models, services, view models, and view. Okay, so with this view, let's go to a desktop. Let's work on a desktop first. So let's add new Maui contest page, and this is going to be home page. So this is home page, and I'm going to add desktop home page. So desktop home page. And now in this, we are going to create a view model to this. So within this view model, we want to create one view model. So within this view model, let's create a desktop view model. So this is what, let's create all the view models once. So let's create add new item. So this is going to be a class. So add new class. And now here, it is going to be desktop home page view model. So we have this. Let's connect this to the view that has been created, and that is the view.xml. So here, let's inject this. And now let's bind the context, control period. Let's include these views. And now here, let's bind the context. So binding context. We set this equal to this view. Okay. Now within this desktop home page view model, let's set this to public partial class. And now this has to inherit from a base. So let's create a base class or a base view model inside this view model. So let's add new class. And now this class is going to be base view model. Now this base view model is going to be used by both desktop and phone. That's for the administration and the client. And now I'm going to say this is object, observable object instead. So let's make this observable objects. So this is going to inherit from Microsoft. So you can see from here, we have two extensions here, namespaces. we have MVVM helpers, we have this community toolkit, the component model. So in order to, later on, we're going to have a crash here, but we're going to work on that. So let's set this to public partial class. Now here, we have this object inherited. Now inside our home page, we can now inherit from this view model. So here we're going to say this is base view model. We can generate constructor for this, so CTOR, and we can now generate constructor for this desktop homepage view model. So inside this homepage view model, maybe this is what you want to do. Now when we go back to this app shell, here you want to set this as a home page. So let's go to the app shell, and now here instead of this local, you want to now add this as desktop. So desktop home page, and now you want to refer this to client dot, and now you're going to have access to views, now views and desktop, and I can have access to, let's copy this, so local over there is going to have access to this, and now you can have a namespace from this desktop home page, because you are referring to the views desktop. Now when you go to views and the desktop, you have desktop home page. So in here you can specify that. You can specify desktop home page. Now let's clear this one. So desktop home page. Okay. So that's a startup page that we are using. But you know what? You can also decide to use on idiom. So if it is on idiom, let's say on idiom, if it is desktop, this is what you want to use. So you want to specify this for data template. So let's paste this. You can paste this here. And if it is on phone, you want to paste this. So let's paste this too. Okay, so for now you want to paste now. Let's add the other one here. XMNS. Let's add local. And now we are saying that you want to specify CLR-namespace. Our project name is demo client, and in here local, and now you can have access to home page. So we have access to this main page. Now with this, let's see. So when we go back to this desktop home page view model, you can see that from this desktop home page, let's specify this as a title. And now let's go back to this main page. Now let's say this is client. So let's see here we have title. Now let's say this is client home page. So let's save this. And let's register the view model and its view in the Maui program.ts file. So here we can go in there and then grab this. And now here let's specify builder.configuration.services.add. Now you know with this home page you want to add transient, and with this we can add singleton, because you're going to perform just, you're going to call the services here and you want to create a static one for the whole scope. So dot add singleton, and now let's paste this home page, control period, let's include the models, and we close that. Let's do same for its view. So dot add singleton, and now here instead of this home page, we want to say instead of this view model, let's see, so we have this home page. So control period, you can also include the desktop view. and that is this. So we save that, Control KD. Now let's set this as a startup page for the client. So set a startup page, and now let's first run on Windows and see what we're going to have now. Alright, so you can see from here we have our desktop home page, and that's for our desktop. Let's close this and now let's run this on Android 2 and see if we're going to have the Android one as well. So choose the Android. I have my emulator selected already, that is 12.0. Click on it. Now let's wait for this to get ready. Alright, so you can see that from the client section 2, we have the client home page. Now this is what we can do. You know, we could have built an Android, that's the administration one, and also a client one. So the administrators of this e-commerce are going to install this on their desktop so they can monitor and do everything. And the client one also can use the phone to have access to this. But you know, this is just a demo, and here we are going for a project, so we need not to create an administration one other side and then create this. So that's why I have splitted the views here. I believe this is clear. Okay, so for now I'm going to stop here. I'm going to wait for you to give me thumbs up and so comment. Then let's continue on. We do that so that other people can also have access to this video as well. It can just spread across for many people to see. So please click on the like button now and also write something there if you love what you've done so far, so we can continue on. Tell me when you're done. Voila! So it means you're done now. Congratulations for doing that. Okay, so now let's move on. What we're going to do here first, you know, we are going to develop our desktop first. So let's close all this, or even our desktop homepage view model. We can now do something here because you know that here we have our view, and now when this runs, nothing displays. So you want to have something like our buttons, also add data, perform the CRUD operations as well. Okay, so let's see. Should we even use a flyout or a tab? Okay, so let's use flyout here. So I'm going to clear all this. So for creating flyouts, we can flyout is the same as a sidebar. Let's check the Microsoft documentation for Maui and let's see how we can have a flyout implemented quickly. Okay, so let's see. Now when you go to the documentation for this flyout, that is for shell, you know, for this learn.microsoft.net Maui fundamentals, shell and flyout, you have this. And we want to use, you can see we have a nice flyout over here, and that is the display. So you want to have something related to this. So let's go in there, and you want us to copy this. So from this flyout, this is the end. Let's grab this. And now let's go to our page. Now let's go to shell and app shell. Here, you want to create the flyout here. So let's paste this. Now this is what you want to display here. Okay, so maybe when you create our Android, we're going to check, we're going to use the same idiom to specify the content template for each of these ones that you want to display. But for now, let's maintain this. So you want to perform all the CRUD operations here. So first of all, we're going to talk about add page or add product, delete product, get product, and etc. Okay, so this is add product. You're going to create a view, so add product page. Then this is maybe so with the view, we're going to have a whole list. This homepage is going to give us a list of this product. Okay, so here, this is what you want to do. And now when we click on the list, we can go to get product detail. So we can specify this as product details page. And now on the same list, maybe we can have some buttons over there or beneath to click on delete. So we won't need just delete page. you're not going to use that. So you want to have product details and also add product. And we have this get product. So the rest, if the need arises, we can use that. Now let's close this back. You see that here it is in the tab. And you don't want to do that. So let's clear these tabs. So we clear these tabs. So we have this cell. So we have two cells content here. And now you can clear this because we have the same title, icon, and content template. You see we have the same title, icon, and we have the content template. So they are the same, right? So let's clear this. Let's give space here. And now in here, title, there's going to be add product. And that is view product. So here, you're going to have view product. Or even with this product details, we can decide not to specify this. Okay? Because here, as soon as I click on add product, after adding, this home page is going to display a whole lot of product that we have. If I click on it, it's going to display to this page. So we can clear this for now. So let's maintain only one flyout item. Now let's create this add product page. So let's copy this. And before that, I have some images from this that I want to use. So first of all, this add product. So I'm going to copy this. Then I'll go to this page and the resources, images, and I'm going to paste this here. So add product.jpg, and I can use it over here. So this is JPG, and now it is add product. Okay. Now let's copy this name. Let's save. Now let's add it to the desktop view, the desktop folder. And now here we're going to add new item, .NET Maui, and our content page. Now the name is add product page. So this is going to the desktop. And now here I'm going to click on. Or should we add a desktop page? Let's maintain this. So you can see we have add product page and a desktop homepage view model. So they have this, and now we have to create this view model as well. So let's go to the view model, and I right click on this, and now there's going to be new class. And here we're going to say add product page view model. And now this is going to inherit from this base view model. So base view model, and here public partial class. We can create constructor for this, CTOR. Let's save that. Let's copy this view model. Let's register in the view. So that's the settings, Maui program.cs file. We can just paste this here. Maybe you can just grab this for quick writing up. So and let's cut this, paste this here, and let's remove this view model. Very simple. So we are done with this. Okay. The next thing to do is let's use. So we have our shell, we have our flyout item specified here as add product. And on top here, you can see we have shell.flyout disabled. So let's set this to flyout. Let's save that. So now we have this. When we run this, so let's run this and see from this Windows version. Let's test this. So we have an exception here, and it's saying cannot resolve this. So let's go in there and uncheck. We have add page and product, so it means you have to add this namespace. Now let's go back in here. Now we can specify XL MS. So let's see, this is coming from desktop, so you can just clear this off because it is in the same folder as this desktop. Let's paste this here. Okay, And now before we do that too, let's go to this add page view model. Now let's go to this content page. That's the code behind file. And let's bind the add page view model. So this is the code behind file. Now let's add this add product page view model. And let's bind the context with that. Okay, good to go. So while this is running, let's go to the app shell and let's register the route here. So app shell and now .xml.cs. So let's register route, so we can click on add product and going to navigate us to the same page. So let's see, and that is a routing .register route. And now here let's pass in the name of it is add product page. So control period, let's include views, and now we need to specify type of, and now we do the same thing. So the type of is going to be the same add product page. Very well. Now let's see. Okay, so we have our flyout. Now you see we have this add product. We have an image specifier as well. Now you see I'm using a dark mode. That is why you can see we have this. So you have this add page, and now you see we are inside this add product page. If I click on this home page, we have this home page. If I go again, you see you have home page, you have add product page. So the home page here is referring to the desktop. If it's on mobile phone, it's going to be the Android one, that's the client. But here, since on the desktop, you have this. Okay, so when we are done here, we have this and we have our flyout indicated over here beautifully. So let's close this. And the next thing to do here is we are going to build the add page. So we're going to add this. Let's build the UI. At times, UI burden sucks because it takes a lot of time. Let's see what we can do. So let's start with this. To do this, I want us to use some component that is Syncfusion package, because they have a nice tool that we can use for form building. So let's see. So when you go to their documentation, they have a nice way, and that is what we want to do. So we want to have something like this, and that is the instruction from here. So Syncfusion documentation, test input layout, getting started, and that is this one. So the first thing to do is we have to install this package first. So I have my package already, so I have it in this text file, and now the package is found here. So I have Syncfusion, and that is this. So I'm going to just grab this package name, and I'll go to my projects here. Then, so for you, just right click on dependencies, and now just go to manage NuGet packages, and I'll try to install that. But for me, I'm just going to unload this project. So this project, I'll unload like this. Okay, then here, I'll just paste in the package beneath. I'll save that. Then I'll make sure I'll just reload it with dependencies. Now go to Explore here, right click on dependencies, and manage NuGet packages. And let's see. So we're going to install that. Okay, so now this is what I have installed, syncfusion.maui.core. So you can just go to Browse tab, and I just type in Syncfusion, and you're going to have maui.core. You're going to have the list over here. Now you have to install this package. Very simple. Okay, so when you are done, let's go to documentation and let's follow the instruction over there to implement this. We have to register this by using this key. Let's go to the myprogram.cs file. With Syncfusion, we have to get a key, license key. But this project, we are not having license key, but you can still use it. So you can just go to, I have a video on how to claim a free community license key. I'll put the description, so you can just click on it in case you want to have a key for your project. just go in there. When you meet the criteria, you're gonna assign you a community key for free. Okay, now let's close this, and once you're done with this, let's navigate back to the page, and now you have to add this namespace to our project. So you go in there, and now where we have our project, Solution Explorers, I'm going to close this because we are done here. Now add product page here.xml. I'm going to add the page here. So the title is add new product. Okay, or I can just bind this to the title here. So maybe I can do something like binding, and maybe I can talk about title. So this title, we can specify this title inside this base view model. So with that, we can say this is private title, and it must form, the type must come first, string, and on top here we put on top observable property. Then when we go back to our add page view model, we can specify it here. So you can have a public property of title, and they can say this is add product. This for now, we want to add product. So when you go back here, you're going to display it from here. But before that, we have to add a namespace. So we say XMLS, then view model. So namespace demo, refer to view model. Now X data type, and we say view model. Then we can have access to this add product page view model. So this title is off, it is solved now. Okay, once we've added this namespace, we can set this vertical stack layout, and here spacing, we can set this to 12. Let's check the next thing to do. We can use this input. And now let's grab this inside here, and I replace this. So we have to get some models for this. When you go to Solution Explorer, and when you go to this models, we have this product models. So you want to grab this product model. Okay, you want to grab this product model. This product model has a grouping here, but we're not going to use that. So let's grab this product model from the whole thing, and now let's go to this models, right click, and now let's create a class for this. And now this is going to be product. And now let's paste this. So public. Let's clear all this from the namespace. Then let's paste this here. You're going to have error here. Control paste. You can see you want to add this reference, but you're not going to do that for now. No confusing for now. So let's maintain this. Now let's add this product, your category ID. Okay. Now let's save that. And in this product, let's copy this. Let's go back to this main page view model. Maybe in here, this product add page, you can specify on top as private product, and we say product model. So let's make this underscore, or add product model. So we say add product model. Let's make this underscore. So this product control period, we can use this model that we've created. You can just clear this off. Okay, so we have this. Now this is under the product view model. So in here, we can have a public variable as add product model, and that is this add product. Before we do that, we have to assign the observable property on top. So observable property on top, and now we can have access to this product. So we say add product model is equal to new, then you can have access to this product. So with this, we can now have this public variable, and you can assign to the form in here. Okay, so this, let's see, you're going to have this test. And now we're going to say binding. So binding here, I can have this dot name, because you don't want to add ID, because you're not the one to assign ID. It is auto-generated by the database. So now in this, we can specify hint. And now this hint is, let's say this is product name. Now you can copy this. And now, we have product name, product ID. And let's see. So product name, we have product ID. So this is product name. When you check this product class, we have name, we have description, we have category. Okay, so let's see from this, we're going to have product description. Now you know that this is description, so you're going to have a multi-line text box to do that, because we're not going to have just one line. So how do you do that? Syncfusion will support it, and when you go to the view support input view, you can see we have this editor here. We can specify this editor mode, and auto size is going to test changes. So we can specify that over there. Now let's see. So let's go to our page. And now in here, let's paste that. So we have editor, and we have this auto size as test change. So let's see how it is arranged over here. So we don't have any error in this. I go back there, and we have this. Okay, so it means we have to get this hint, and now there's an editor. So we have to take off this entry. So that means that here, we have to specify this test. So I think we can now cut this, and now paste this here, and I remove this. So there's an editor view. Okay, now aside from this description, we have category ID, and at this category ID, we would like to display category itself. So how can we get the category to display here? So let's first let's get the list of categories from the database so we can pop it up over there. So let's see, now we go to the add page view model. Now in here, let's create observable collection. Let's say a range. And in here, we're going to say that public observable range collection. And now this, we have to get this supposed to be category. So category, and now here must be categories. And must have get and set is equal to new. You can do this. But you're not having category here. So this is what you're going to do. Let's go to Solution Explorer. Now where we have this category, let's open this. And now let's cut this. Let's go to our models in the app. Let's add a new class, and that's going to be for category. And now let's paste this here. So this is public. Now you can see we have category ID, category name, and image. Okay, so with this, we're going to have a drop down for this, so we can select it in that. But before that, let's populate this here. So we have this categories here. You can see that it is off now, no error. Now let's have a method as load category. So this is a method that we need to create. So control period, let's create this method beneath here. And now with this, we have to create a service first. So let's go to Solution Explorer. Now, in where you have the service folder, right click on it, click on add, then let's add new item. It's going to be an interface. So interface, and that is product service. So product service. So we could have created this product service once inside this library, so we can use it over here. But don't worry, that's going to be there for a next lesson. Now let's focus here. So we have this, and that's going to be public. And this public, you want to grab the list. So task, you want to grab list of category. And we say categories. So we have get. There's not get, let's have, it's a method that you want to have. Okay, this is what we just want to have. So get categories here. Now when we go to, let's create an implementation class, and for the same service, it's going to be product service as we've done it in the API. So this is product service. And now, this is going to inherit from this product service. Control period, let's implement interface. And now we have to create constructor too. So let's create constructor CTOR. And here going to be public. And the next thing to do is, once you have this, we have to inject our HTTP client. So HTTP client. Then you create a new client. So control period. Now we can now create and assign field like that. Okay. So before we forget this, let's register HTTP client here. So we go back to the Maui program.cs file. So builder.services.add HTTP client. Now you pass in product service. And we say this is the implementation class of product service. Now this is done. Let's go back to the interface. That's the implementation. And now here, we have to get the API for this. So let's run this again. Let's set this API as a startup project. It is done already. And now let's run that to see or to get the URI. So whilst you wait, make sure if you haven't subscribed, you just subscribe. And also if you haven't click on the like button, just do that whilst we all wait. Alright, so we have it over here, and that is an HTTP client. So HTTPS, we have localhost and 7234. So here, when we click on categories, we are not having categories here. So it means you have to create a method in our controller to get out the list of categories. So let's do that. So in our API, let's see, so from this service, we have product service. And we have to create one service for category 2. So let's add another item. And this is going to be interface. And here it's going to be category interface. So category service. And the implementation class, it already. So let's do that. Add class. So category service. Now this is inheriting from. So let's create constructor here. CTOR. CTOR. Okay, now with this, we are going to inject our AppDB contest. So AppDB contest, then control period, we create an assigned field. We go back to the interface, and I just need only one interface here. So tags, we want to get the list of category. And that is get categories. So control period, let's include this category. Now let's go back to the category service. Let's implement interface. And now in here, let's return. So we can just use this lambda expression, and we say await appdb contest dot categories dot toList async. That's all. Let's implement this in the controller. So maybe since it is just one line, you can put that in the product category. Okay, so let's do that in this controller. And now in here, let's inject the same iCategory service. Control period, we create an assigned field. Now down here, we are going to specify something like HTTP GET, and let's specify this inside, and that is products. Okay, so let's have category. So it means we're going to have products / categories. Okay, then let's have a public async task, and this is an action result, and you're going to have a list of category. And now here we say that get categories, async. And now with this, it is just pointing, okay. Now going to have an await, so category service dot get categories. Before this, I want us to go to this, and now here, get categories, let's make it as async. Now you go back to this interface, and now instead of this categories, get categories async. Good. Now let's edit. Let's go back to the controller here, and now category service dot get categories async. So you want to return this. That's all. Edit this. Okay, so let's go to, now we are done with this. We have this as a controller. So when you run this again, let's check our controller and see what we have now. So we can see we're going to have a categories. We're not having it over here. So let's see, let's save that, and we have to refresh this again. That's in our controller. So reboot and apply. And let's see what we're going to have when this page loads. So we wait while the browser instance is going to be created, and we're going to have our category / our URI also, so we can copy this, and that is what we have. So you can see we have a category, so API, product, and categories. And if I click on this, you're going to have a list of categories here. Okay, so we have an exception because it's saying that there's no service here. So let's go in there and register the service. We do that in the program.ces file. So that is this one. Go to this file. And now here, as we did to this guy, you do the same thing to the category 2. So paste that. And now inside of this iProduct service, it's going to be iCategory service. Let's do that. All right, so done now. Now let's see if you're going to have that issue again. Okay, so categories, try to get it. And we still have the same API service. Like, it means we have to build this again. So we try this out. Okay, so you can see from now we have the categories over here from electronics up to the computers. All right, so now let's go in there and fetch this. So we can now go in there. When we check this URI, that is the URI over here. So we can now grab this peacefully. And now let's go back to our project. That is it. And now what we have, so we can close all this because we don't need them. We are done with our API. So we can close this category service from here. Let's close that. And now category 2, let's close that. So in this project, that's the Maui one. We have an iProduct service, and that is this. Let's also add the async. Let's go to the product service, and also we have to add the async over here. Okay, so in here, this is what you're going to do. You're going to say, so var is categories. So it's equal to await. Then you can have an HTTP client dot. So get async. And now you know what? You're going to, let's close this. And now let's pass in where we copy the URI here. So it is getting to this local host with this port. And now there's a route. So here we store it over here. Now that's what we're going to do. We're going to say var response. You know, this is an HTTP content. So we can use this get async, read from JSON async to convert it from that's a JSON object to C# object. Okay. So you can say that and await. Then you can have this categories dot, you can have content from this, that then read from JSON async and get it as this one. So with this, we have now specifying the list of category. So we read and now convert it to this category list and we return. So return response. Very simple. So this is going to get us the list of categories from the API. So after doing this, let's go back to this product service. And you know, we have to inject that here. So let's inject iProduct service. Then let's put it here. Because you know, we are doing that in the product service. We want to get the product categories. So iProduct service, we have it here. Control period, let's create an assigned field, not property. We have this set over here. Let me give space. Okay, so for now, this is what we can do after we've set this here. Let's put this at the end because we have to initialize the constructor first to get its object ready before we call a method, which depends on this constructor or the initialized constructor object here. Okay, so we put this at the middle. That's the last end. And now here we have our load categories. So with this load categories, we record it when the pages get loaded. And let's say var categories here is equal to await product service dot get categories. You're not having categories async, you're not having that method. Product service dot, let's check product service dot categories. So let's add get to it. Get categories async. So product service like this, we can have this get categories async. You save that. Now again, let's see. So product service dot get category async. Then we can now check if categories is null, then you want to return. That's all. Else, you want to check if categories, and this categories is also null. We're talking about this. Then let's use this. If category is not null, or let's set the count here. Dot count is greater than 0. Then you want to clear that. So we're going to say categories dot clear. Then after clearing, you want to now add this category to this category list here. So down here, you're going to say categories dot add range. Then we pass in these categories here. And that's all. So you can see that that is the advantage of using this category service. That's an observable range collection from the helper, from this MVVM helper created by James Montemagno. And that's very good. We thank him so much for doing this. It's helping us instead of looping through using for each loop through, we are adding it just one line of code, boom, and it is solved. Okay, So we add this, and the next thing to do here is we could see we are calling it here. So when you run the page, you're going to have the whole list. Let's try that to see. So I'm going to stop this. Let's set this to the current project, and that is going to be our Maui app. So .clients, and let's set that to startup project over here. So add or set this as startup project, and I'm going to put a breakpoint here. So you can have access to this, put a breakpoint, and now let's see with this. Okay, let's set here. So you're going to see the total of the product we have here in the database. Now let's run this. Okay, so now if I click on this add product, you can see this is hit. Now currently, let's see from this service, you will see we have a method that is getting from this get category async. So let's wait, let's click on next to see if you have data in here. So we're going to move to the next one, that is this one. Okay, so it's saying that, okay, so it is this no license over here. We have an exception. You can see no connection could be made because the target machine refused it. Yes, because we haven't started the web API. So let's stop this. And now this is what you're going to do. You want to start them together. So, or we can launch this. I have a different app here. So I'm going to launch this like that. So this is the Visual Studio 2022 stable version. And I'm going to open this solution. So open project solution here. Okay, so I have this project now. This is the API. So I'm going to launch this API into this one, that Visual Studio 2020. And I'll just run that here so I can run the other one here in the same different one. So we can have the two projects running. So we can have access to the server or the API. So this, I know this is working perfectly. So let's see from this is the API. Oh, okay, not this one. So let's do it again. Okay, so you see we have two instances running. This is the first one, and that is the second one here. So with this, let me just, I'm running two instances, so it's going to slow down my machine a little bit, but we're going to manage it as well. Let's wait. All right, so you can see that it is slowing my machine down. So this I'm going to do. I'm going to just clear this off. Then I'm going to run the same project. We're going to write the multiple. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so my machine is loaded, so that's why. Now let's see. So let's go for Solution Explorer, and I click on Set Configure Startup Projects, and I can see from here we choose a multiple one. So we have an API. You want to start that. So start this without debugging, and now with the client version start. So you want to debug the client. You don't want to debug the API because the API is set already. We've tested it already and it is working. So click on this start, and now let's see the two projects get started. All right, so you see we have an API ready. So let's see if we can have access to get data. This is also an app and it is coming in. So our API, try this out. Let's see. We're going to have the product. Yeah, so we have the product that is working. Now let's check for this, our app 2. Now if I click on add product, this is hit. Click on continue on. Now let's see what we have now. Okay, so now if I click on this, we see we have the count as 8. So if I click on this view this is viewing, so this row, let's click on this row and raw data. So you can see we have individual image capture, this computers, and that is toys. So you can see we have it from the API. It's working nicely, so we can just stop this. Okay, so continue on. And yeah, so it is working as you can see from here. And I say this application was built using the trial version of SymFusion Essential Studio. To remove the license validation message permanently, a valid license key must be included. And you're not having the license key now, so maybe later on you can just go there and get it out. This is for testing, so you support it. So we have product name, we have product name over here, or product name, product name, product name. It means we have to make some changes here, right? Now let's see. So let's include this halfway. So let's go back to this add page, product page here. And now with this, let's have this multi-line text box. Do we have this? That's a multi-line text box. You can see that this is bigger than any of these. Okay. Now let's have that. Or this is what we can do. Let's switch this to light mode. Okay, so once we have this, we can use the XAML preview. Now let's specify the margin top. So margin top, let's put that to. So margin, you want to say that's 10. 10, you're going to put all into spaces. So you're going to say left is 10. Now top is 10. Right is 10. Bottom is 0. So let's see what we have. We have top. So this top, let's set top to 0 and see. So top to 0. And now we have this on top. Okay. We have this spacing. The spacing is over here. And let's save this. So let's specify now the spacing is too much. So maybe we can make it as maybe 8. And let's see. And also from this, we can set the top to 10. And I think you're gonna have a nice one. And aside from that, you see this is a vertical stack layout. So inside this layout, maybe we can have something like frame, because you want to set the width and the height. So let's see if we can set width request. Maybe 300 will be okay. So we have this 300 vertically. And I think that would be okay. Or we can make it like 500. Let's see that if, yeah. So this is okay. So when we check the app itself, you see we have, that's a way to add a product. We have product name, product description, and I have to specify this as description. And here, this is going to be the category. Because when we check this product, we have name, description, category, price, and now we have quantity. So let's see. Now you can have this is going to be category here. And now product price. So this is going to be dot price. And here, you're going to have this as category. And now you have to get the last one for quantity. So we have the last one over here as quantity. Okay, so we save that. And now product quantity. So that is the output that we have here. Nice one. So this is the price, we have the quantity, and etc. Okay. So as we have the following, now you want to work on the category. So the category, we have to get a drop-down list or drop-down menu. Let's go for Syncfusion drop-down list. So when we check the site for Syncfusion, we can still have this combo box. And you know, it is the same steps as we've done already. So what you have to do here is you have to add this namespace. That is our input. So let's see if you have added this namespace already. So Maui.input, we go to our projects. And now let's check our namespace. We have this. So we have to get this input. So let's go in there and now grab that. So this is a namespace. And now it is referring to as editor. So let's copy this. And we go back to our page. Let's paste that here. After doing that, let's see. So we can now close this. Okay. And let's see if we're going to have error in this again. Now it is saying that this were not found because we haven't installed that package yet. Now let's say we have to install this package. So let's take a look. We have simfusion.maui.input. So let's grab that. Then on our page, you go to the, so that's our client here. Dependencies, manage NuGet packages. Now let's paste it. So that is this. All right, so this is installed here. So after installing this, as you can see from here, it is successfully installed. What can we do? Now, when we check the documentation, you can see it is the same step. So let's say we've added this already. And now let's go in there and I'll add this namespace. So let's grab this. Let's go to application. And where we have this add product dot example file, let's go in there and add our documentation or the namespace here. So we can now use this editor here. So let's see. Now when it comes to the next one, we can now go for this editor and use this combo box. So I'm going to grab that, and now here where we have our category, I'm going to clear this off and now I'll paste this. So you can see we have our category, or we have our editor combo box here. Now let's save this and let's see the output. So this is product category. I'm going to run this again for us to see the output of this. Okay, so the app is ready. Now click on this flyout. Now click on add product, and now we are inside here. Now you see we have this product category. As soon as you click on that, we must have the list. But you see currently if I click on this drop down, nothing happened because we haven't assigned the item source. Let's quickly do that. So when you check the documentation here, you can see we have, with this, you can have to assign item source here. So you populate list over here, and now we can assign the item source to that. So that's what we are going to do here. So let's go to our page. Now we have in the add product page view model, that is this one. We have our observable range collection, and that's the category. Now here we are adding, and we have this variable as a public variable. So when we go to this add page, we can now go in there and assign this as an item source. So we don't even need this. So here, let's say an item source, and now let's bind that. So we do binding. Then can we have categories? Yeah, we have it. So now let's see if hot reload is working. Good. So you can see as soon as we click on this, we have the whole list, but we need to specify the mode here. So let's see how to go with that. So after assigning this, let's see, the next thing is we have to talk about display member path and also test member path. So display member path, and that is what, as you can see from here, this is a display member path. So let's see how to work with that. So in here, we can talk about display member path. And now with this property, let's see what we have to specify it as. When you check the category model, you can see we have name. So let's use the name. So pass in name here. And now let's see with the test member path. Let's also use the same name. Now let's save that, and let's see. So now you see we have the list over here selected. So you can now go in there and now select this list. So men's wear, shoes, toys, and etc. All right, so we have it selected beautifully. Okay, now you can go ahead and add the price and add the quantity. Then we have to get a button to save it. Okay, so let's work on that. So here we're going to add a nice last button over here. And now this is test. So save and yeah, so save button. And let's see, so we have this button as saved. Okay, so maybe you can have a title on top, maybe here. With this vertical, you can have just a label. And you can say add new. So this label, we have it as test. And add new product. Okay, so let's see, add new product. Let's put in the middle, and I'm gonna do this. So let's set this in the middle, and that's gonna be horizontal test align. Let's put it center. Okay, so we can now increase the size over here. And you can talk about font size. Maybe this is going to be title. So you see, we have this add new product. You can see we have this before one. Okay, so after having this, the next thing we have here is you have to select an image. So how do you work with selecting image? Let's see, we have to use a file picker to grab an image here. So let's go in here. And now, once you have this quantity, you can have an image over here. So with this image, you can do something like, let's add a button. And on this button, you can write test. So add image. Okay, so this add image, or maybe we can do something like, we can just put here as horizontal stack layout. Now add image, and I'm going to have the image here. And also let's have the image view over here. So then we have the button. Now let's see. So add image. Okay, so you can now click on this button to add image. We can make this button as background, or let's say this, what we can do. You can also set the background color to transparent too. And you can see you're going to have this as, and let's set the text color to blue. And also this is supposed to be this button, talking about this. Add image. Then let's set the text color to blue. Okay. Now you see we have something like this, add image. As soon as I click on it, I can have access to image. Okay. Now to do this, we have to add an image picker. That's a file picker. So let's have a command over here. And before that, let's go to add product page view model. Let's create a command here. So this is public async task and add image. So with this add image, we're going to use var image is equal to new file. So file picker. Okay, so let's see, with this file picker, we have to specify some parameters in it. So let's say await, we have to use a keyword as an await. So await, then here we have to specify this file picker dot that can have pick async. And now with this pick async, that's only what you want to do, because you want to specify some few options here, maybe as image, JPG, or etc. But this, we can have to specify some parameters here as new picker options. Then with this pick options, maybe we can have something like pick title. So select image or product image. Then let's also get the types that we want. So file types, you want to say file types or file picker file type dot, you want to grab images. So here we can pick all images, format of images, PNG, JPG, and or JPEG, and etc. Want to pick all. Okay, so we get them here, and now we can talk about. So if image is null, so just have to, let's grab this, paste it here, and now if this is null, then you just want to return. Else, then this is what you're going to do. So let's go to this, our XAML page. You can see we have this image tag here. Now this image, maybe you can have a name here as X name. Then maybe we can specify it. You can bind this here. So you're supposed to be source, not image. So let's say now source is equal to, let's bind this. Now let's come to the page here first, and we want to create an image variable here. So this is going to be something like string. So you can have private string, and here you say product image. Let's put observable property on top. Okay, and now in here, this product image, when we go back to the add page here, binding, we can have a public product image. So dot. So you can even use model dot. You can even use this image. You can use this image here. Okay, so instead of using this product image here, we can decide to clear this off. And now here, after selecting this, if image is not null, then you want to assign add product model dot image is equal to, then we are going to use image dot file name. Let's see if this will work when we run this to display. So as soon as I click on this to choose an image, let's see. So we have to assign this. Let's put this as relay command. And this add image, let's go to the page here. And now with this button, so choose image. Let's have the command here. And now we bind this to add image command. So let's see. Okay, so this won't work because the image is a file result and we can't assign it as a string. So we're going to have, it's not going to work. So let's even stop this before it runs. And now the next thing here is we want to convert this to be 64 string. Then we can display it over there. So let's do that. So as soon as we select the image, and the image is not null, let's try to just convert this image to 64 string. So let's create a byte here, byte array here. And now with this byte array, we say this is image bytes. So create an object here. And now let's create, so a new file is equal to, let's grab the path dot combine. So dot. Now this combine, you have to get a file system dot cache directly. So we get the directory over here. and we specify the image.file name. So you grab the location. After grabbing this location, let's create a stream. So stream is equal to await image dot open read async. So then let's using memory stream. So using, and I can have this memory stream. Then let's create an object out of this. So memory stream equal to new memory stream. So now within this using, you want to have stream dot copy to memory stream. We pass in this memory stream, and also we set the image byte is equal to memory stream dot to array. So memory stream dot to array. Now let's do the conversion. So we create and we say converted image is equal to convert dot to base64 string, and now with this base64 string we're going to pass in this image byte, and we can have this image set. So we have add product model dot image is a string, so we can assign this to this converted image. Okay, so we have this, and you can convert this, we can assign this to converted image, but we have to specify the format here. Okay, so we have to convert it so we can have access to the database, and also we have to reconvert it so we can also view the image on the screen. So let's have something like this. We're going to have observer property, and then we are setting this image source. Now we create an object as image source file. Also, when we come here, I have a small code that I want to paste here, and that is we want to do convert image. We create an object here as a converted image. Then we convert the image that we have selected here to 64 string. Aside from that, we state the format, and now here we want to have PNG, only PNG files. So we want to specify this. So you can do something like if this image dot file name dot content, so dot png, then you want to move on. Okay, so we want to do this only when this file contains png. So we can just cut this and let's put this here. So if the file contains .png, then we're going to assign it. That is the image slash png and the base64. And now here we use a string format, so we're referring to this converted image. So here is a conversion, and now here you're going to reconvert it. So here is conversion. So converting to base64 string. And now here we are going to convert from base64 string. So converting from base64 string to image to image. So that is what we are doing. Control KC. Let's comment this. Aside from that, we set the source to this image from stream. Then you call in this memory stream, and that is the object of this. And now here is the image from the stream. So that is this one. Okay, so now once we have this, what is the next thing to do? We have to just grab this, and now we go to our main page here, and now here we have to paste it here. So we are binding the image source with this, and we can specify the size. So here the height, this height is 100, and then the width is also 100. And now let's specify the width, the height of this. So height as 50, it's okay. Now when you check, let's refresh. So let's build this and start the app again. So now let's click on this button. Now let's add product. And now here, you're going to choose an image here. So as soon as I choose an image like this, click on open. Now this image is going to be converted back to base default string and assigned, let's see. So we have to choose an image which is PNG. All images are here, they are all JPG. So this is what we can do. Let's have an exception as soon as it is not. So if you choose image which doesn't contain this, then let's try to tell you something like, so we can have an await shell.current.display alert. Then we can say alert. Let's cut this. And I will say alert. So invalid image format. Selected. Then you're gonna have, okay. So when we save this, and now let's see. So if I click on this and I choose any of this image here, I must have this format and let invalid image format selected. Okay, so I have that. So it means I have to choose an JPG images or PNG images. So maybe we can now change this image to JPG or PNG, etc. Okay, so we can do that from that end. And let's see, so let's maintain one format and the PNG is okay. Or maybe you can decide to add the two. So as you can see from here, if it contains this, then we can have, or if the same image contains this, it's PNG, then let's see. So let's paste it here. Then it contains JPG. Okay, so this file name, we can convert it to lower or to upper. So to lower. And if it contains that, and let's also contain or convert this to lower as well. And if it contains this. So in case it contains this, then that's what you want to do first. So instead of this image here, we can create a variable of this. And now let's see. So you see we are assigning this. You want to change the format here to PNG or JPG. So let's see. This is what we can do from here to make that way, so we can change this. Okay, so we can say if this contains PNG, then we can have maybe a variable here. So let's have string, and that is an image format. So it's equal to null or string.empty any. So it's equal to null or it's string.empty. Okay. Now here we are saying that if this image contains this, then we want to assign this to PNG. Else, then we can now close this. So let's close this here. So that is for this. And we can also copy the same thing and now check. We can also paste this here. So if this image contains JPG, then I want to send this image format. So we want to set this image format here. So this image format is going to be image/JPG. So image/JPG, and now let's copy this and now set this image format to image/PNG. So PNG. So that is the format. So if it contains this, this is the format. If it contains this, is the format. Okay. Then we do this. We continue on here. We create a byte, and now when we come to this end, so instead of passing in this string here, we rather pass in the variable itself. So we're going to say that, and let's pass in string interpolation. So here is going to be image format. So we have this image format. And now let's see, this here represents bytes, so we can just pass in this. We can just cut this and now put this in here. So we have the format stated. So instead of using this string format, we are formatting it this way. So we say string.format, we have this data, and that is the image format here. And we have the base64, and we have the image also specified here. Okay. Now, with here, so with here, we can just cut this, and I'll do something like if image format. So if image format is null, then we want to say this is invalid image selected. So let's paste this here, then invalidate selected. Or we can just specify, make some text here. So if string dot is null or empty, we can specify this image format. Or if string, don't worry, that is my file, okay? So if string, that is a string dot is null or white space. You can still make a check of this by using all this. So image format, okay? Then, so here we want to check if string is not equal to null, that's what you want to do. And if string it is not white space or, so yeah, setting this is negative, then you want to do this. Else you want to display this. So now let's save this and now let's refresh this and see what we have now. So now let's see, click on this, now add product. And now we are in, so we choose image from here. We choose this, and actually we have the image here. So what if we want to choose an image that corresponds to this? Then let's see what happens, because all these, let's check the format here. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here when the conversion is done. Then I'll put breakpoint here too. So I'll first choose JPG file and also choose a PNG file. Now let's refresh this again. So now let's go click on this, add product. And I'm going to choose an image here. And this, I added this as a PNG file. So I'll click on open. And let's see the format here that you want to have. Let's see the format. That is image/PNG. Now let's continue on. So when you check here, the image format is what? PNG. When you click on view and view in an HTML format, you can see we have the format data type and the image here, it is PNG, image/PNG. And that's in base64. Now let's choose another one. So continue on. We have the image here. Let's choose another one. And this is in JPEG. So if I choose this JPEG, let's click on continue on, and now let's see the format. So if I click on this, you see it is base64. We are not having the format here because it is JPEG and it is not JPG. So JPEG, so it means that we want to specify JPEG. It is JPEG, but here it is JPEG, and that's why we have this error here, because when you click on continue on, let's see what, because we have the image here, but the format, it is not in the one that we specified. You see this one is JPEG and this one is JPG. So if this is JPEG, for JPG, let's click on open, and now let's continue with this, and I could see it is JPG image/JPG. So we have to set the JPEG here. So we can set here to this. All right, now let's see. So if I choose this again, this image again, I'm going to have invalid format selected because it is JPEG and I'm looking for JPG. Okay, so we have this implemented and we have everything here set. Now what we have to do here is we have to now save. So we have to click on this button to get this database or this data that we're going to provide here, save to the database. Okay, so let's work on that. So in here, we go for this. Now you can see we have this image set. So this is what we can do. We have this image converted to this. Now this is a string. So instead of this image here, this image, we're going to use this add product model. So add product model dot then image is equal to this string format. So let's see, we have this add product here. Now let's run this and see if we're going to have, as soon as we do that, we save that, and now let's see, I choose an image here. Let's say I choose this as PNG and I click on this. So we see from here, let's click on continue. And now when it comes here, we see let's have, so we see we have the image here and it is assigned to this string. So this is a converted image that we're going to use. Okay, so this is working fine. Continue. And now let's have a button to send all this. So we go back to, we close this, and in here, let's have public async task, and that is save product data. So save product data, and now here we're going to check if add product dot name is not equal to null. Okay, and we can also check, we can make a whole lot of checks over here. So we can also check, or if add product is not equal to null. So we can do a whole lot of checks here, but for now, let's skip that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to say, so if this is null, then you want to return. Okay, and that's all. And if it is not null, then we want to call this service here. So we say var results is equal to await. Then let's call product service dot, so add product. So do we have add product here? No, we are not having add product. So let's go and create an interface implementation for product adding. So let's go to the interface, that is the services folder, and now I product, let's add this. So task, and now we can use service response. Now this service response is coming in from the reference of the first this library. So let's see if we can include this service response here. Is it possible? So let's check. So there's a client. I click on this client project and we open this up. So here we need the dependencies. Let's go in there and now let's do our response here. Let's leave this model. Later on, we're going to see how we can add that. So I'm going to copy this. And let's go back to our project. So in our models, so these are models. Let's create a class for response. So add a class here. So we're going to name this as service response to, and now let's paste what we have in. We have a message and as access, so we can now close this. Okay, let's go back to the interface. Edit this. So our interface. Now you have this server response to this model, and now we can say add product. So here we need to pass in this product and its object as product. Let's save this and let's go to our implementation. So let's see, we have this. So tax service response, and we have this add product, and it's saying inconsistent accessibility, return the tax and the method product service add. So this is the add. Okay, so add products async. So let's go to the service response and make this public to stop that. So make it public and edit it. So it is solved now. Let's go to the product service, implement this interface. And now here we have this. So with this method, you can also copy the same thing from here. And there's going to be like categories. So this is add product. So here going to be results, or let's say response. Now with this response, we can just copy this response over here and I get this response. Now here's going to be result, and this is going to be post. So dot post JSON async, and now there is a method that we are pasting to. So here it's going to be an async, and you know it is a product for just product only, and now we need to specify the object as well, and that is this product. So we can get the results over here from this. Now read from JSON async. There is no more a list of objects here, but it's rather going to be a service response. So we paste this here, and now you have to return this response or return this result. Okay. So now we check. We come to this. Once you have this implemented, let's go to the add product page. So here we can now go for add product async. And now we can now pass in this add product model. So with this add product model, we can check that if result dot success, meaning it is done, then maybe we can make a toast. So let's see, we can create toast. So let's make a toast. So we can have toast. So if you check the documentation for toast at learn.microsoft.com and community toolkit, Maui alerts and toast, you can create a simple toast here. So you can just grab this. And now let's go to our project here and let's create a method. And this is going to be private, and that is void, and let's say make toast. So this toast, we're going to pass in string of message. Now let's paste this here. So let's set this as async. And now we need to, this is toast duration, control period. And now let's see. So this has to, we have to add this to the model. Let's see that alert. We have make toast passing it a message. So this string test, you're going to clear this test. And now in here, we're going to specify the message over here. So that's the message. Now toast dot, let's see what we have here. So toast dot, we must have this make. So let's see, let's go back to the and let's use alert. And you know we have to install this community toolkit, because first of all we have to install this community toolkit.maui. So let's go to, and even when we add this to the namespace, we have to still install that package. So let's install that. So I'm just going to paste this here for this community toolkit. Then I'll just go back again and I'll reload this page with dependencies. So also you can just go to dependencies and I click on manage NuGet packages. And now in here, you're going to search for community toolkit.maui and install that. So let's see. So instead of here, let's wait for mine to get installed. You can just go to community toolkit.maui and install. So you can see mine have been installed. So click on this browse and I'll search for this community toolkit.maui and install this package. So when you are done, you have to register that. So let's go back to, let's close this. And now let's go back to the Maui program.cs file. And now in here, we have to register this. Okay. So control period, and we need to add maybe some namespace in here. And that is it. So let's go back to the view model. And now add product page view model. We can now have access to this make toast. So control K and U and comment this. And I could see all have to okay, so let's see. Now this, so let's show. So let's use this. And now we have reduced. Okay, so we have to use an alert. Okay. So when you check here, we have this. Let's clear this. And now we can see it is set now. So we can now call this to make toast. Okay. Now we want to pass in with not shorts. You want the duration to be long. So dot long. Now, and the font size, you want it to be 18 as well. Okay. So when the results, the success, when result is success, then you want to call this method. So let's call this method. And now let's pass in this result dot message. So we can just do something like this. Then you can have else. We call the same method. So the same method. Okay. So if it is not, or maybe if it is success or not, whatever the message is, we want to display the message here. If error occurs to, you're going to display the same error. So there's no need for us to use the if. As soon as we have the message comes in, we can now make a toast and now display the content to the user. Okay, so let's save that and see. So now let's run this application and see what we have now for the save. So we have an exception, the namespace widget does not exist. So let's clear that off. And let's clear this toast. Okay. So we have our toast equal to make toast. So this toast, so toast dot, okay, so let's make correction here. Now let's do control period. Let's use this dot alert. So we're using this alert, not this one. Yeah, so all set. Let's do it. So now let's go and add product. So let's choose the first one, and that's going to be, let's say this is a shoe. The description is, so very nice and affordable. And the category here, you're going to choose shoe category. The price here, it is, let's say the quantity is 12. Let's choose an image. So the image, we're going to choose any of these as an image for this. As soon as I click on save, we haven't bound this button yet. And also we haven't gotten this selection. You want to add the ID, not the name. So let's figure out the two parts here. Now let's go back to, we have this button set, that is a save product data. And now let's add a relay command. So let's bind this to the page. And when we go to views, desktop, and add product page, this button save, let's bind this command to, and that is add product page. We have to stop debugging first. So binding, then add product, not add that. Let's check. So that is a save product. So that is a save product data command. Save that. And also when we check this, the drop down, we must have an event. As soon as item is selected, you want to populate, get the ID. So let's also check out the documentation for the selection change. And that is this one. So we can now go for this selection change event. Let's grab this. Let's go back to our page. And now where we have this, so that is this. Let's pay selection change. And you see we have selection change over here. So let's see. So let's go for selection change. And now with this, let's see if you can bind this to a command. So selection change command, let's see. Now let's go to this method. So let's come here and let's have a selection change, a command here. So we're going to say that public async task, and this is get category. So get category, and now let's see if we can have access to this category. And with this, let's put on observable property. So let's go to that is relay command instead. So relay command. And let's go to the main page and now bind it. So selection change, you want to have this binding as get category command. So you want to execute that. And let's see, so it is saying that this event can be bound to a property of delegate type of event handler. So you can see that from here, this represents or needs an event. And now this, we're binding to MVVM. Remember, this is the event driven. We don't want to use that. So we can clear this event, and now we can use selected item. So selected item, and now let's go to our view model here, and now let's create an observable collection. So we say category, so private category, then we can say selected item. Now let's pass in observable property on top. Okay, so now with this variable, let's go in there and I introduce it to that. Now in here, let's bind it. Then we say selected item, not selection change. You want to grab this. Let's save it. And this is selected item. So here must be selected item. Selected item. So let's stop this. Yeah, so we have this selected. Let's say item, and that is it. Now let's save this. And this is what we want to do. Let's test this and see. So maybe when we click on this button, when we click on this save button, let's comment this first. And now let's check if this selected item is not equal to null. Then we want to display the value and see. So we can say if selected item is not equal to null, then we want to call await shell.current.display alert. And let's say this is item selected. Then we want to display selected item dot id dot toString. Now let's have an OK button. Let's close it. So that is when this is not equal to null, we want to display this. Okay, so let's save this, and now let's rebuild this, and now run it and see if this is going to work for us. So now let's test the application. Click on this add product, and now you can see continue on. So if I click on category, you can see we have the list. If I click on shoe and I click on save, I must have the ID of 9. Do the same thing to menswear, save, and I have the ID of 11. So if you choose the first one, electronics, and the ID is 6. So let's check our database and see if it is okay or it is the same. This is a database, and I get categories. So product categories. Try this out, execute, and now let's see. So for electronics, the ID is 6, and kitchenware is 7. So let's try that also to see. So if I choose kitchenware, and that is 7, or computers, and I click on this, that is 15. So when we check computers here, the last part is 15, so that is it. Now, once you have this, it means we are good to go. So we can populate this. We can cut this from this end, and now we're going to say that this model. So still we can have this if this is not equal to null, or let's say if this is null, then I want to return. So return this, don't continue, but and also, so now let's uncomment this. So if this also null, then return. Else, then we're going to now populate, because we have the image populated already, and now we can say that add product model dot category id is equal to this selected item dot id, and that is it. So we're going to we have everything here. Now let's run this. So let's save this. Okay, and now let's run. So click on start. So we are in. Now let's see. So we're going to add a new product, and we're going to select an image as well. So we have the list. Now let's choose a new product. So let's say this is car, and a description, let's say very affordable. Then you go for the category, and now here you want to choose, do you have cars? Yeah, we don't have it, but you can choose electronics. And now the product price, you want to say it is 785.85, and our quantity here, it is 10. Let's choose an image. So we choose this image. Now let's click on save and see. So we are in now. We have this. Let's go to the next one. And now let's check this. So what is the value for this? It has the 6 category ID of 6. We have very affordable for description. And the ID is 0 since you're adding a new product. There's an image for PNG because the PNG file. And that's a string converted. We have the name. We have the price over here. And that's the quantity. So now when you click on continue, let's see what we have now. You must have the toast. So as you can see from here, product added. You can see we have it, product added. So that is a toast from this desktop. And now you can see from here, you can turn off the notification or you can add it. So this is a toast over here. And that's what we have. If I click on save again, let's see. Now continue on, continue on. Now let's see if we're going to have. So still product added. So you first want to check the product name. If, let's see, continue on, continue on. And now you can see you have product already added, as you can see from here. So this is now working perfectly. So the next thing to do here is let's display the product added in the client section. Then you see what to do for it. So I'm going to stop this. Now, if you know you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that also. Comment and also give me a thumbs up in case you like what we are doing now. Now, the next thing to do here is let's go to the client view. And now we want to create a new phone here. So let's go to the phone. Let's add a view model. So let's close all these tabs. Now we go to Solution Explorer. Now under the phone, right click and let's add a new item. And now this new item, .NET Maui content page. And now here is going to be home page, and there's going to be let's say phone home page, right? So let's say this is phone home page. So this is phone home page. Let's add this. So we have to also create a view model. So you can just copy this, and now we go to the view model. Now inside this phone view model, so you can see we go to the view model. Now let's create a class, and that's going to be phone homepage view model. So phone homepage view model. Then let's add this. Once you are done, let's bind it to the view. So we go to the view fonts folder, and now font.xml.cs, that's the code behind file. Let's create an object out of this. And now in here, we want to control period. So control period. Let's use this view model. Let's bind context. So binding context. Then we can say it's equal to this homepage or phone homepage view model. Now let's save that. Let's go to the home page, and now let's set this to public partial. So here you're going to say it is public partial class. And now this has to inherit from this base view model. So base view model. Now let's register this and this view in the Maui program.cs file. So we go to Maui program.cs file, and now in here we are going to register this. So I'm going to paste this here. Just grab this, and now I'll just paste this here. So let's cut this and paste it here, and as I'll paste this, and I'll take off this view model. Okay. So let's include this phone, control period, let's use .phone. Now let's go to the app shell, and I'll set, if it is phone, let's set the screen or the content to this phone home page. We go to the app shell, and now here, that is app shell.example, and now inside of this local, let's set this phone, so desktop home page, and now you want to set the same thing to phone homepage. So you're not going to be desktop, it's going to be phone homepage, and you're referring to dot views, so dot phone, and let's use this phone, and now you can have access to this. And now this phone has a view model known as phone homepage. Okay, now this is set. The next thing to do is let's go to the phone homepage view model, and let's have our product added. So this is our phone homepage view model. Let's create constructor for this, CTOR, and now we create a constructor, and now let's create a public variable, so public, and let's use observable collection, so observable, and here range collection, and now we go for product. So this product, you say this is product, and now get set, so it's equal to new, and now in here, when this page loads, you want to get product. So get this product control period, let's generate this method beneath, and here let's inject the service. So I product service, then there's an object control period, create an assigned field. So in here we can have var result or var product is equal to await now product service dot get no categories. So you must have get product. So let's go to the interface, the service, I product service, and now let's have get product. So we have, so instead of this, you can just make a copy of this, and now down here we paste it, and now we say get product async. So get product async, and now here is going to be product model. So product model. Now with this, let's go to the implementation, and that's the product service, and here control period, let's implement the interface. We have that. Now you can copy the same thing from here, and let's paste it. So instead of get this, you're going to get product. You can clear this from it, and that is get. So let's say here it is product, and now this must be an async, and also so this product, we're going to read the content here as a list of product. Aside from that, you're going to return this response. Very simple. So when we are done with this, we go to this homepage view model, and now here we can have access to dot get product async. Then we can check if product is null, then you want to return. But in case it is not null, then that's what you want to do. Let's also check if this product observable collection range product here dot count, so it's greater than 0, then you want to clear. So product dot clear, we clear that, and we assigned, let's give a space, we assign it to the new one coming in. Very simple thing that we are doing. Okay, so now when we have this, we have to create our view. So let's go to our Solution Explorer. Now under the phone page, let's include the namespace here. So the title here, let's clear this title. Maybe this title could be, we can bind this to, so binding this to title. Now let's bind this XMNS, and I will say view model, so CLR namespace, and you have demo, demo.viewmodels. So demo.viewmodels. Then let's have X data type, and we say this view model dot. Now this view model, you can see we have font view model. Let's add that. So you can have title here. Now let's go to the font view model dot, and now in here let's set the title. So we can now cut this and now bring it at the end here, and now let's set title also. So title is now equal to product. So you can write something like available product. So that will be the title. Let's clear this gap. Okay, now let's go back to our font page view model. So we have it here. Now let's go back to the XAML file, and now in here we are going to use a list view. So in here we're going to use maybe grid. So let's have this. Now let's say grid. Now you can have column definition. So grid dot column definition, or you can have row definition as well. So let's see. Let's first have a look with column. You want to have 2 columns in the grid, right? So let's specify that here, and we say column definition. So .50 star and .50 star. You want to divide into 2, and now with the row definition, you want to have star. So 2, 3, and 4. So let's maintain 1 for now. Now let's go to this. We have our grid. Let's have our collection view in it. Now this collection view, we can have our item source, and that's going to be for product. So item source, and that is, we're going to bind this. So binding, and that is product. Let's have our item template. So collection view dot item template. So item template, and now in that you can have data template. So in the data template you have to specify models. So let's add it. So we search for models, and that is this. And now in here we can specify X data type, and now you're going to say models. Then we can have product. So this is product. So within this we can have frame, and now with this frame maybe you can have, let's see, we can have corner radius as 5, and let's have the image. So this image, we want to have the width as 250, and the height as 250. Let's try that and see. So we can specify margin of this. So margin to 5 for each. Then within this frame, maybe you can have vertical stack layout. You know, designing sucks. So at the time we try to design it wastes time. So let's have label beneath, and now this label you want to have test. Let's bind this test to name, and we can set this to horizontal alignment, center. So we have this, and that's the image. So let's bind the image source. So this image source, we have to convert all the images into, that is a base64 string before you can display them here. So let's work on that. So let's go back to the page here. So we go back to this home page view model. So instead of storing it over here into this product, we can say that we have this product here. Now before we add, this is what you're going to do. We are now going to convert this image. So when we go back to the product page view model, let's see the first view model, the add product page view model. We converted an image here. So let's remove this. Now that is a way to convert this image. So now we are converting it. Now let's copy this. Now let's go back to the phone page view model. So in here, let's loop through this first. So we're going to use for each loop. Then we say var product in products. Okay. You want to loop through. Now let's paste this. So when you paste this, we want to convert from base64 to image. Now what are we having? We have the image at 64 coming in. So we are going to convert from base64. So you can pass in this product dot image. Okay, we create a memory stream. Then to this, so let me create this as image, and this is a memory stream that we create, and now you want to convert it back to this image. So here we want to create, after doing that, let's create a new image. So we create a var new, let's say new product. So let's go to new product. Okay, so you have this. Now in here we are going to specify, going to populate it here. So new product dot id equal to this product coming in here dot id. Then let's do to the next one. So we save this, and the new product dot name is equal to this product dot name, new product dot description equal to that, and our new product dot price. So let's see, so dot price is equal to then product dot price, then new product dot quantity. So new product dot quantity is equal to product dot quantity. And now the last one here, we have category ID as well. So new product dot category ID is equal to this product dot category ID, and new product dot image here is equal to, okay, so now here you can see that we are using this image. We've converted this thing as an image. So what you have to do here is we have to now create a file which can have an image source, and that's what we can use to handle the images. So does that mean that we have to create a new object for this product? So in our models, maybe we can decide to add a product. You can imitate it. So let's add, and let's say here as product. Okay, so product temp or temporal one. So we can do this, and now in here, all the properties that we have in this product that we have here, we are going to copy all this into this product terms. But when we come to the image, let's make this as public. When we come to this image, you're not going to use this one. We're going to use image source. So we're going to use image source here as image. So this is what you need to do. We're going to change this property. Now, so this product terms, let's copy this, and now let's go to, and let's clear this off. Now let's go to this page view model. That's our phone page view model. And now instead of using this, we're not going to use this product terms. Okay, so when you call this image, or you call this new product, so when you create this, you create this equal to new product terms here. So this now is it is not a string, it is going to be an image source. So this image source, we can now copy this, and now in here we paste this here. We clear this off. Okay, so we create a memory stream. Now you populate all the stuff here. We set the image to this image store from stream. Aside from that, we have this product, and now we can now add this new here like this. So let's say, let's cut this, and now let's paste this inside here, and problem solved. Let's see, still have problem now. What is the issue now? It is saying that cannot convert from product term to enumerable product term. So let's see how to correct that. So we have this product coming in. You're open to create a new product terms here. Product terms, public. Okay, so you have image source. That's it. Now we go back again and we check. We have this new coming in over here as an object. Then we convert this image. So we are not convert this product image coming in as a string. Then convert it as a memory stream over here, so we can have access to this memory stream as image source. Then let's see what we can do. We have to populate all these. Then product. So we're not going to add range. You're going to just add a single item like this. Okay, let's save this, and now let's go back to this phone page, and now let's set the item source over here. So this image, you set the source of this image. Then we are going to now bind this to image. Remember that this product coming in, it is an image source product. Now let's build this and run this and see what happens next. So you know what, we are still having this. So maybe let's change. Let's close this. Let's test it on the desktop before you go to the Android. Now let's go to the app shell. And now with this, we can also make a copy and paste it here. So let's just grab this content template, one, and I'm gonna paste this here. And now let's comment this. Okay, so I want to call this, paste it here, grab this, and now paste it here. Now let's run this. Alright, so before we do that, let's do one thing. Let's first check if the product.image is not equal to null, because from here we are converting. And you don't want to convert an empty string, so we want to check first if it's not equal to null. Then we have to convert it to base default string, and I reassign and add a product. Okay, also let's say from this add page, we don't want to add the format, because converting from base default, we're supposed to provide the format, and don't want to add the format. So we can assign X variable here, and we can assign an image name to this converted string. So we can skip this. Okay, we can skip this. If you're using another version, we can decide to use this, but for now, let's skip this. That's why I've assigned this X to it. Now let's, with all these changes, let's run application and see. Alright, so you can see we have an image displayed here. Now this is what you can do. You can decide to set the background. So let's utilize the XML view. Now let's set this. You go to the page here, that is going to be font page view model. And now let's try to add or format this well. So here with this frame, you want to set the background of maybe, so let's have this as, maybe you can have an image like this, right? And aside from that, or you can decide to display it as transparent. So background here as transparent. So it is also going to work. And now with this, you can see we have an image display. So that's the title here. Let's increase this. So label, let's set the title here to, or the font size. You can set font size to maybe 18. And it's going to increase the font size. Okay, so we are not saying this at all. Let's set this text color. So text color. Now let's use this to see if you can have access to this text. Oh, okay, so we made a mistake here. So it's supposed to be font size. All right. Now let's see, it's going to pop up. So you have the binding as name. You have the font size as 18. Seems you're not seeing the font size at all. Let's see. All right. Now let's set font size here as 18. Okay, so you can refresh this. So aside from this, what you have to do here is you have to run this in an Android to see and how our product is going to look like on the phone. So when this finishes running, we are going to choose our app, that is the emulator, and we are going to start from there. All right, so we have a bag, and that is our item here. Okay, so maybe you can add description and a whole lot, but let's maintain this for now. Description going to come when as soon as you click on the button to click on or go to details, then we can display description and the price. But here we can also add the price too. So once you have here, you have the name, we can pass the name here, and we can also add. So with this, let's specify, let's cut this here. So this vertical. So let's make a copy of this. And now we're going to paste this, and this is going to be for price. So we can add this as price. Okay. So let's see. Next, you have the price specified over here. Okay. And maybe in case you want to add description too, you can add description to the page. So let's see, once you set this, the height request, we are not specifying the height request over here. So for the frame, corner radius, and let's see, we can increase the height request by setting up this margin or this vertical margin. So margin, you can have 0, 0, 0, and now 10 for the bottom, and you're going to have a space beneath like that. Okay, so we can decide to also specify this in cities. So we can cut this and now use horizontal stack layout, and now we paste this here, and now we can also paste the same thing and specify this as maybe the city sign that you want to use. So Ghana cities, and we can specify that. This also works. So you can see Ghana cities here, and let's see if we can push this to horizontal option as center. Let's see if that's moved to the center too. Okay, so that's the price. So when you go to my database here, you can see we have the price here, so we can check. Let's select top or edit top 200. We are not having any data here, so let me close this. And let me open this at the top 200. So you have one data, and now here I'm going to just give it a name like maybe TTS handbag. Okay, so I'll just save this, and as soon as I restart this, it's going to pop up. Now let's run this in the Android. So let's stop this. But before we run this in the Android, we are using local hosts because when you check our service here, that is the interface on the service implementation class. We are referring to this interface here, and this is the local host. And an Android does not support this. So how can we get this local host work in the Android? We have to use dev tunnel. So I have a video done on how to create a dev tunnel link and now debug your Android application through a dev tunnel. That is my link over here that I've specified. And I just specify the base address here corresponding to the API request. And that is it. If you don't know how to create a dev tunnel, please check the description. I'll put the link over there. Watch that to know exactly what dev tunnel is and how to integrate it into your application. And so you can see that we have this design here, and that's what we have for this. But we see the image is too big, so you can decide to schedule or resize this image a little bit, and I'll set the name well. So let's see from database. Maybe you can just, okay. So I want to refresh this. Okay, so that is the to add. Now you can see from here the add, this is a desktop view, so we don't want to view this. We want to see the available items here. Okay, so let's resize this a little bit, this image. We go back to the Android page settings. So Android, or that is the phone home page. And now this image, we see we have width and height. So let's set the height to maybe 200. So the height 200 will be okay. Let's maintain that and see. And so the height and now the width. Let's set the width to maybe 150 or so. So let's set all to 150 or 150. As I always say, development design, UI sucks. So trying to do UI is very waste time. So yeah, so this is okay. Now so I'm going to go offline and I'm going to create a multiple products here so we can add them and see the display on the screen. Okay, so I'll just get back to you by adding a lot of products here. So maybe just go back to the add product. So I'm going to run that from the add shell. I'm going to run it through this desktop version. And through this desktop version, I can just now restart this. And I have a lot of data in it. So I'll be back soon. Alright, so you can see we have a beautiful e-commerce site over here. Now you can see we can have our image displays, and that's our product. You can see each product has its own price beneath, and that is a way to do that. Alright, so I'm going to leave this source code at the GitHub, so check the description and you can have access to this.